On January 13, 2019, Gillette asked a question that would cost them $8 billion. Is this the best a man can get? At first, it looked like just another brand campaign, but within 48 hours, the video had 400,000 dislikes, making it one of the most disliked ads in YouTube history. Men filmed themselves throwing Gillette razors into trash cans. The hashtag #, boycott Gillette, trended worldwide, and 6 months later, Procter & Gamble quietly announced an $8 billion write-down on the Gillette brand. When asked about the backlash, the division CEO didn't apologize. He called it a price worth paying. This is the story of how a company that dominated men's grooming for 118 years decided to lecture its own customers and learned one of the most expensive marketing lessons in modern business history. How Gillette built an empire. To understand the collapse, you have to understand the power Gillette once had. In 1901, King Camp Gillette invented the safety razor. Before that, men used straight razors that required skill, sharpening, and patience. Gillette changed everything with a simple idea. Cheap handles, expensive disposable blades. It was the razor and blades model, before anyone gave it a name. By World War I, the US military issued every soldier a Gillette razor. When they came home, they brought the habit with them. For the next century, Gillette didn't just sell razors. It defined masculinity, athletes, celebrities, confidence, strength. In 1989, they locked it in with a slogan that would last decades. The best a man can get. Men didn't just buy razors. They bought into the idea. By the early 2000s, Gillette controlled 70% of the global razor market. Their cartridges cost 35% more than competitors. And nobody complained. That level of dominance attracted attention. In 2005, Procter & Gamble acquired Gillette for $57 billion, the largest acquisition in P&G's history. For over 100 years, Gillette was untouchable until it wasn't. The decline no one wanted to admit. By 2018, something was wrong. Market share fell from 70% to 54%. Grooming revenue dropped 26% in just 3 years. The brand that once owned shaving was bleeding customers. Part of the problem was cultural. Beards were back. Men shaved less, dropping from 3.7 to 3.2 times per week. Younger men watched YouTube tutorials, bought beard oils, and skipped razors entirely. The US shaving market shrank. Manual razor sales fell 5.1% year over year. But none of that was the real threat. The real threat came from 2 guys and a camera. The startup that changed everything. In 2011, Dollar Shave Club launched. A year later, their founders stared into the camera and said, "Our blades are great." The video went viral. Within 48 hours, they had 12,000 orders, so many that it crashed their website. The message was brutally simple. Why pay $25 for cartridges when $3 blades work just fine? No locked cabinets, no drugstore trips, blades delivered to your door. In 2013, Harry's followed with the same model, cheaper, cleaner, direct to consumer. Gillette responded with discounts. Blade prices dropped 12% in 2017. It didn't work. They were making less money selling fewer products to fewer people. Worse, they felt like a brand for fathers, not sons, and leadership knew it. The strategic gamble Gary Coombe, head of P&G's grooming division, admitted the problem. Gillette was losing share, awareness, and relevance with younger consumers. At the same time, a new marketing idea was spreading. Brands weren't just selling products anymore. They were selling values. Nike backed Colin Kaepernick. Dick's Sporting Goods dropped assault rifles. Patagonia sued the US government. Nielsen reported 66% of consumers would pay more for socially responsible brands. Then came Me Too. Global conversations about masculinity, power, and behavior exploded. And Gillette saw an opportunity. If any brand had the authority to speak about masculinity, it was the one that had defined it for a century. So Gillette made a decision that would change everything. The best men can be. Gillette flipped its iconic tagline. Not the best a man can get, but the best men can be. Their agency, Grey New York, hired filmmaker Kim Gehrig, known for campaigns focused on empowering women. Gillette pledged $3 million to nonprofits supporting boys and men. This wasn't just an ad, it was a full repositioning of the brand. And in January 2019, they were ready to launch. They just didn't know what they were about to unleash. The ad that lit the fuse. On January 13th, Gillette uploaded the film to YouTube. It opened with men staring into mirrors, as audio clips referenced bullying, sexual harass, and toxic masculinity. Then the scenes. Boys fighting while fathers muttered, "Boys will be boys." Men catcalling women. Male executives talking over female colleagues. Then footage of actor Terry Crews from his congressional testimony. Men need to hold other men accountable. Only near the end did the tone shift. Fathers intervened. Men stepped in. Boys learned respect. The ad ran 1 minute and 48 seconds. No razors, no shaving, no product. And the internet erupted. When the audience turns on you, the backlash was immediate. Men said they felt portrayed as bullies and predators. Longtime customers announced they were done with Gillette after decades. Reaction videos flooded YouTube. Boycott Gillette trended worldwide. Piers Morgan tweeted that Gillette's virtue signaling was part of a global assault on masculinity. The video racked up 400,000 dislikes versus 200,000 likes. Eventually, Gillette disabled comments. Later, the video quietly disappeared. The message wasn't rejected by everyone, but the angriest voices belonged to the people who had been buying Gillette products for years. And now the question mattered. Was this just noise or real damage? The bill comes due. 6 months later, the answer arrived. P&G reported grooming sales falling from $6.5 billion to $6.2 billion, a $352 million drop in 1 year. Gillette's global market share fell again, from nearly 65% to just over 60%. Then came the bombshell. P&G announced an $8 billion write-down on the Gillette brand, creating a $5 billion quarterly loss. Officially, the reasons were currency shifts and structural market changes. Unofficially, the timing said everything. A price worth paying. In August 2019, Gary Coombe was asked directly about the backlash. He didn't back down. He called the losses a price worth paying. The strategy was intentional. Alienate older customers who were leaving anyway, and win younger, progressive consumers for the future. And yes, the campaign generated attention. Website traffic hit a 5-year high. The brand received 1.5 million mentions in 24 hours. But attention didn't translate into sales. A Tuluna survey revealed the gap. 77% felt hopeful after watching the ad. Only 34% wanted to buy Gillette products. Even worse, 51% of the audience was female. People who liked the message but didn't buy men's razors. Gillette had aligned with people who applauded, not people who purchased. The quiet retreat. By August 2019, the strategy changed. Gillette shifted away from social issues and toward local heroes. Firefighters, coaches, personal trainers. No announcements, no apologies. The experiment was over. The real lesson. Gillette spent 118 years telling men they deserve the best a man can get. Then spent 2 minutes telling them they needed to be better men. The backlash cost $8 billion. 4 years later, another $1.3 billion write-down followed. The damage didn't stop. It compounded. 3 mistakes explain everything. First, they targeted the wrong audience. Praise doesn't equal purchases. Second, they confused cultural relevance with product relevance. Sneakers are statements. Razors are utilities. Third, they told loyal customers they were the problem. You can lecture your customers. You can take a stand. You can go viral. But in the end, someone still has to buy the razor.